Shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai by Shem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers. Doing this work in truth, in sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning. The few that are trying to get it right. To you, I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. Salaki, I got a sinus infection. It's as a result of a toothache. So Salakia, these bodies, these afflictions, can't wait for the Lord to just get us up out of here. But that time is close. That's the good news. And, you know, as you look on the screen, it says it all. If you look at because I'm going to profile this video right here by Born Andreas Bull Hansen, this guy over there in Norway, this Norwegian. And I've still been trying to figure Born out because I know I did something on one of his videos in the past. But he says some pretty serious things in his video. All right, so I'm going to let some of his video play, and then I'm going to interject with a few scriptures. So let's click to it.
What makes Discovery Plus the greatest collection of real-life entertainment on the planet? Do the math.
So there's this saying, we are only a few meals away from anarchy. I've heard 4 meals, 6 meals, doesn't really matter. When we start starving, we become uncivilized, to put it that way. When people start starving and become desperate, they will do anything to get that next meal, to feed their kids and to feed themselves. And this is especially true when it comes to people living in cities. If you are in a big city, in a way you could say that you have nowhere to go and there are limited resources. You can't just go and...
Very limited resources. And everyone's going to be fighting for them. Everyone. All right, and then you people who, you got some people in the cities that have prepped. All right? And then you got those scoffers who don't believe anything is going to happen and it can't happen. And it's going to get real bad because the have-nots are going to come after the haves. So this is Isaiah 13 and 14. And it reads, "And it shall be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee, everyone into his own land." So within here in America, people are going to go and run to neighborhoods where people look like them. And not that that's going to help you, because those people are going to come after you too. But there will be racial clashes all over Babylon. You best believe it. "And everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword." So those who are assigned to death are going to die regardless. And for those Israelites that are joined unto these heathens, that marriages and you done made pacts and you got fallout communities and that whole sort of thing, you join unto these heathens are going to turn on you or you're going to die with them, thus saith the Lord. And it says, "Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled." So they're going to ravish through your house, looking for batteries, food, water, alcohol, women. A lot of wives are going to be raped right in front of their husbands. A lot of daughters are going to be raped right in front of their fathers. All right? You're even going to have men getting raped. Children. It's going to get pretty bad when these marauders start to maraud. It says, "And their wives ravished," raped. Yeah. You know, to get graphic with it, yeah, you're going to have groups of men come in, beat you unconscious or beat you within an inch of your life. And in a lot of cases, you're going to hear it or you're going to be forced to watch them run through the women in your house. It could be your mother, your sister, your daughter, your wife. It's going to get really brutal out here. And the people who are those things happen to, that's them falling into their own devices. So, like I always tell you, these women who've been jumping from cock to cock on that cock carousel, I keep telling you, the day's coming where that carousel is going to ride you. And you're not going to have no choice in the matter. You're not going to get to pick and choose which cock on the carousel that you get to ride on. The whole carousel is going to ride you until they're done. Yeah.
And fish, or hunt. Your choices are very limited if you're in a big city. So I'm going to give you all a little bit of a warning, and I guess you've heard this before, but as I'm recording this, now I can't remember the exact date. Is it the 19th or 20th March? I think. Of 2021, you should either get out of the city or you should make preparations so that you can get out.
And see, most people don't have anything. They're waiting on stimulus checks. So the majority, the bulk of the people, I've been rewatching The Walking Dead. And that season 5 and 6, my opinion, was probably the best 2 seasons. That's when it got real. That's when the interaction between the Marauders, different Marauder groups, started clashing. So you had the element, not only did you have to survive the zombies, the walkers, or the rotters, as some guys call them, but even more dangerous was the other people. The other people who wanted your guns, your water, your food, your supplies, your women, your shelter. It got really graphic. And then the scarcity of water and food and your strength is low, and all of a sudden you're attacked. And that's how most people died. They were scavenging for food. And when you see the mindless hordes in that show, it made me realize that those people, all those hordes of dead people, were the scoffers and those who trusted in the government. Because it seemed that every facility that they found was overrun. And the army, the military, nothing could help them. Every government thing broke down. So you trust in Egypt, you're going to die. Matter of fact, let's get that. It reads, this is Isaiah 30:1, and it reads, woe to the rebellious children that saith Yahweh, that take counsel, Salakia, woe to the rebellious children that saith Yahweh, that taketh counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and trust in the shadow of Egypt. So instead of praying and calling out to the Lord, they're going to trust in the Maxine Waters and FEMA, which are all death traps. Because like I said, when you watch that show, all those places failed. They would tell you to go, what was the place, Terminus, they were all trying to find. Well, they got to Terminus and found out they were a bunch of cannibals. You walk into Terminus and they give you a hot plate of food with meat. And then the guys looked around and said, you see any cows or sheep, any pigs around here? So the thing was, the way Terminus went, people on the road would see all the signs and go to Terminus, and basically they will give you the opportunity to join them. You're going to join us and be cannibals, or you're going to be cattle. Because they immediately threw you in a cattle car, came back later, slit your throat and drained your blood and chopped you up. They had butchers and chopped you up like you were food and fed you to the people. That's what they were doing. All right? If you haven't seen the show, I highly suggest that you watch it. You know, it kind of gets weak after the first couple episodes of episode 7, but episodes 1 through 6 is off the chain, especially 5 and 6, in my opinion. But they're all pretty good up to that point. And you're going to see a lot of biblical prophecies that are playing out as you watch the show. All kind of scriptures are going to come to mind. All right. And of course, they do that elevating of the woman thing, and it always failed. Salaki. It always failed. But let me go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 24. So one of the most important resources was water, and they had none. And you best believe people are going to fight and kill over it. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 24, and it says, "And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in the fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." And they keep talking about grid downs. Grids are going to go down all over the country. All right? When those aqueducts in California stop flowing water, it's a wrap. It's not going to be escape from LA. It's going to be escape from California. Everywhere, every city, every place you go to, it's going to be a death trap and neighbors coming after neighbors. You best believe it.
Of the city on short notice. That's my honest opinion. By the way, that's my dog you're hearing. We're out here. Can you see her? Yeah, maybe she's below the camera. Yeah, we're out here training with one of these dog sleeping bags. So it's she's not used to that.
The hell? Is this a commercial in the middle of...
Mr.
Wow.
Nilsson has confessed to killing 15 men over a period of 5 years.
I'm afraid I don't remember the names.
Well, I always tell you, beware of pale men with bald faces. Well, there you were. But anyway, back to the scheduled programming. Damn YouTube.
Before I continue with the video, please consider subscribing to this channel. The way YouTube works now is that a channel like mine, I talk about these issues now and then, and YouTube doesn't really like that. So I'm totally dependent on people subscribing.
They don't like that. Anything that speaks about truth.
Out of necessity. And I'm not talking about cities, Norwegian scale cities. I'm Norwegian. If you go to the capital, and if you come from.
So I think you just said get out of the big cities.
And I'm not talking about cities, Norwegian.
There we go.
My impression is that they do that out of necessity. And I'm not talking about cities, Norwegian scale cities. I'm Norwegian. If you go to the capital, and if you come from New York or Los Angeles, and you come to the capital of Norway, you would not call that a big city at all, And a place like that, like Oslo, it would probably be very easy to get out of that city if things go sideways. Hold on. But if you are in one of these big metropolitan cities like New York, Los Angeles, I've been to several big cities actually. I've been to New York twice. I've been to Los Angeles, been to London several times, Delhi, Sydney, and so on and so on. What strikes me about people in big cities is that they are strangers. If I walk down the path there and I meet someone, even if it's a person I've never seen before, I say hello, and that person will say hello back to me. So we are not strangers in that respect. But when you're in the city and you meet people, you don't say hello. People would think you're crazy. But the biggest problem with a big city is that you run out of food very quickly. You know, that's when the food is gone, it's gone. And then people will start robbing other people. They will start stealing other people's stuff.
People will become food. This is 2nd Ezra 15 that I'm going to read. And you have to understand, the cities are full of big cities full of strangers. And they're going to act like even more so like strangers. People that are used to seeing, you know how you got people that you don't know, but you see all the time because they live in your neighborhood. You see them in their car near you. You see them walk down the street. You see them on a bus. You see them on a train. You see them often because you live in the same neighborhood, but you don't really know each other. Those people are going to become some of your worst enemies. But this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. And it reads, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of the pride of the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and great tribulation." The lack of bread, food, and resources is going to really, we're facing hyperinflation. We're facing more draconian laws, lockdown laws, warrantless gun confiscation, new plagues and threats of those, different racial conflicts. You got the thing going on between the Edomites and the Moabites, this Asian violence, which is mostly being done by Edomites upon the Asian, so-called white people, upon the so-called Asian population. The never-ending violence against Jacob by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. It's just going to get really, really bad. And it's all could possibly happen this year. And quite frankly, I hope it does, because I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of these weak, sickly bodies. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Wa Abba Babon, Shalom.